Mariupol, a city that suffered from the Russian invasion since 2014. It seemed for a lot of people there wasn't much hope for the future. Despite that, Andrei and Victoria, a young and artistic couple, decided to settle in Mariupol to connect with the youth. They wanted to equip young artists to use their gifts and get a more hopeful future. Then, in February 2022, the threat of yet another invasion was in the air.
I had a weird dream. I saw Mariupol on fire, and we were sitting in the car, surrounded by the fire, and the buildings were destroying, crumbling, and everything. We couldn't get out of the city. While living in Mariupol, you kind of get used to the war. The neighborhood that we were living, it was the most eastern neighborhood, and it was 13 kilometers from the front line. Last couple years, 3 years maybe, before the full-scale invasion, we were hearing sometimes maybe a couple of distant explosions, and it was okay for us. It was like a normal life already. When these rumors about invasion started to escalate, I kept in mind this dream, and I thought, well, I hope it's not going to happen how it was in my dream.
We were already hearing bigger explosions, closer explosions, and we were worried about this. We were not allowing our son to go to the kindergarten. As a family, we were moving inside of the city together all the time. We were having our documents in the backpacks, and having the backpacks always with us, and few bottles of water, things like this.
I really 100% did not believe that it's going to happen. It was just preparing just in case, kind of. But I didn't really believe that Russia is going to attack Ukraine just like that, full scale.
I don't know how you hear the explosions, so oh my goodness.
I was actually not sleeping that night, and around 3 o'clock I already hear the explosion happening.
One of our friends that was living in our neighborhood messaged us that one of the missiles came right in the middle of his backyard, and it exploded, and one piece of missile hit his car. So I was like, wow, it's really close to us. It's not even outside of the city anymore. We saw in the news that the whole Ukraine is attacked, and everybody is going towards the frontier with Poland and everything. We didn't have any car, so we didn't know what to do. We just hope that it's going to be over by the end of the day, like it was in 2014 maybe. Then suddenly at midday, explosions stopped, and it was really quiet. And my husband was like, okay, it's over. It's so quiet. I will go walk our dog. And I was like, yeah, sure. She really wants to go outside. Maybe 2 minutes after the explosions, the really loud ones started, and the building was shaking. So I just yelled at my son, go down the table, and he's really obedient. Then I thought I should call my husband, where is he? He's outside. And he didn't pick up, and I thought that's the end. Because of this dog, he died. And I was calling him over and over again.
Just the sound of it shakes your body. You feel a violence that you have never felt before. So I approached my body closer to the ground and started to run in direction of our building. When I turned my head and was calling my dog, I saw the missiles landing nearby the place that we were with my dog.
The door opens, and I see my husband come in with the dog. The dog was all shaking, and my husband he was really pale. I see that he was really afraid. So the result is that these missiles that I heard, they landed really close, around them, or maybe 50 meters, 25 meters, and they exploded It was like a very clear sign from God that we should leave, I think.
Right after that, my friend called me and he was like, "Where are you?" And we were like, "Yeah, we are at the east part of the city." And he is like, "Are you kidding me? I'm going to pick you up."
We were passing past the supermarket. It was destroyed, and I saw how these army vehicles are already on the streets and everything. And I already thought, that's quite serious. I don't know. It looked really scary.
I remember myself praying, "Oh, Jesus Christ, just save us. Jesus Christ, just save us." We did it out from the east part of the city, and the guy, he moved us to the city center. There is a church that is actually in a basement. Closer to the night, we get to know about an evacuation train that's supposed to happen. I talked it to all my familiars, to my father, my sister, and I was inviting them to leave the city together with us. They all say no. From one side, you just hope that it's going to be okay, but from another side, you know, okay, this is really bad. This is actually not going to be okay. This is going to be like full war. That was one of the most difficult decisions I have made in my life. You know that you're responsible for your son, your family, and you know that nobody will take that decision for your son except you.
The train was almost empty. And then a man comes inside of the wagon. He was like dressed like a normal person, not like a train worker. But he's like, "I'm your conductor today." And we're like, "Okay, how can we buy the tickets?" And we're like, "Are we going to stop in Ternopil? Because we need to go to Ternopil." He's like, "Listen, I don't know if we're going to make it, so enjoy your trip and pray for the best." Because the last train, well, I'm not supposed to tell you that. We're like, "What?" He's like, "The last train didn't make it." And we thought, like, okay, here in Mariupol, if we stay with all these missiles like flying over us, like we can die every minute. And in the train we can die every minute. Like, what's the matter? Like, already, just let's try some of these options. So the train was going like this, kind of like avoiding all the threads, or like we could stop like in the field for a few hours and just wait, lights out, because there was like jets or something. First days when we came here, I didn't really realize what was happening. The sirens were, I don't know, like maybe 5 times a day, and you have to go to the shelter every time. It was all very stressing. And then one day, I remember I saw on Instagram one of the guys that was also living in our neighborhood, and he had like a dental clinic 5 minutes from our house. It was just the same way that every morning I was taking my son to the kindergarten. It always burned to ashes, and it was just gone, everything. And I saw this picture, I realized all of the like good memories from this way and from our like past life, they're not going to happen anymore. And I just started to cry really hard. And I think it was like the moment when I accepted the reality that that's it. Like our city, our home, it's all gone. And I started to think, okay, like how we can keep moving from this point, like from zero, kind of. I'm living in Ukraine for quite a long time already. I don't really consider myself Russian anymore because I haven't been to Russia for a long time. But still, like, I know that I was raised there, and I was feeling this guilt every day. There were like messages about airstrikes from all the cities, like even Lviv, and literally everywhere, Kiev, even, like everything was attacked. The worst scenario that I really didn't want to believe it happened.
The pressure of the war was so big, emotionally you didn't know what is going to happen next. You can't provide safety nets to your family. And we were thinking about our son, we don't want him to spend his childhoodness in a bomb shelter. So we take that decision for Victoria and Leon to leave to the Netherlands, and it was from one day to another that they just took a humanitarian van. And in the Netherlands, there was a very nice family waiting for them.
Victoria and Leon spent 2 months in the Netherlands. Meanwhile, Andrei was helping with humanitarian work in Ukraine. Victoria was continuously worrying about her family-in-law back in Mariupol. After 2 months, Victoria and Leon returned to Ukraine and the family was reunited.
After all this, we were kind of acting weird, and we were realizing, okay, this affected us emotionally. But then with the time, God was helping to process it. People were praying with us, we were crying a lot and processing a lot. The thoughts why does this happen to me? And why God allow it to happen this? But I know that we as humans, we have to understand that we are also responsible for our actions. God is not the guilty one of what Putin is doing with his country.
I'm making the square noodles.
With my personal relationships with God, I think they become even closer and more sincere, because I saw how God really cared about every little thing and big thing, so many times where we could literally die, but He protected us. I really feel like God was kind of like a co-traveler with us.
Even in the midst of this darkness, He is just this loving Father that takes care of you even in these difficult situations. We didn't stay in Mariupol. He gave us enough wisdom to leave the city in time. Then we came to Ternopil, and in Ternopil He blessed us with a car. He blessed us with an apartment. The war can destroy buildings, can kill people. The war can destroy a lot of things. But there is one thing that only we can allow to destroy. Our dreams, our life. I'm thinking about how I can build an indoor skate park in Ukraine to help the skate community to develop. Then my wife is dreaming about her animation studio, and she's working on her own animated project right now. I'm also dreaming about my first own exposition of paintings. We feel safe today, but I realized that the feeling of safetyness, it can be broken so easy. So you never know what is going to happen to you tomorrow. And because of that, we have to really value our time. We have to really value our lives. Don't vanish it.
It's all in our hands, this life of time that's given to us all. It gathers round each night, each morn. We watch it pass and grow.